This is Business Rockstars. I'm Brittany Whitney, and my guests today are Marshall and Shannon Bex, co-founders of Books. Hi guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So give us some background on you guys individually and how that kind of inspired you and led you to start Books.
Sure.
Yeah, so I have been in the creative industry for about 20 years now. I was 10 years out at Nike in their brand design group, bringing products to market. And then I owned my own design agency for 10 years with my other business partner, Russell Herzl, and also as a co-founder of Books. And so we've been running that for 10 years. And about 3 years ago, we just kind of looked at the landscape of what we were doing and the opportunities, and Books was something that I came up with my 3 kids. So I have 3 young kids. Well, they're actually 10, 12, and 14 now, but they were young when I came up with the idea. So me and my wife and I kind of just look at just the educational value of books, and really saw that ebooks weren't doing it for some of my younger kids, but my oldest daughter loved reading. But my youngest daughter never liked reading books with us, but she would watch videos through all the way. And so that really kind of spurred the idea of kind of creating books where they're animated storybooks that are brought to life and geared towards kids that are under 8 years old. And the sweet spot's like 2 to 6.
Great.
And I happen to be Marshall's younger sister.
Yeah.
But I also come from the music entertainment industry as a platinum touring recording artist for 15 plus years. And so my knowledge with the music industry, licensing deals, streaming contracts, negotiations, things like that have come into play for us when we're acquiring content from independent authors, illustrators, or publishers that come along. So that's my role.
And Russell, our other co-founder, he studied animation and also met his wife in animation school at the same time. So his love of animation, and we've actually been working together for, like I said, for quite a while. And just this is a great opportunity to kind of bring kind of animation studio together with content creation for children's books.
Amazing. And give us the quick elevator pitch on Books.
Well, Books is the only streaming platform for animated children's storybooks. It's geared for ages 2 to 8 years old, and it's really about having a slower pacing and like you're a parent reading to your kids. So the animations aren't super crazy. They're not all over the place. It's read-along text, so the kids can actually follow along and learn.
Yeah, it's engaging enough to enhance the imagination and yet focus and the literacy. So we call it chocolate-covered broccoli because it's entertaining for the kids, but it's also educating.
Amazing. Yeah. And what was the first step you both decided to take once you were serious about starting your company?
I think the first step was, would rights holders even be interested in working with us and acquiring this content and creating this? It's, of course, all in-house, no cost to them. It's something we do on our own, but just finding the climate, then also finding the stickiness for us with our customers and seeing if that was even something they were interested in. So it was kind of a two-way street. First, you had to see if the rights holders were interested in participating, and you also had to see if the parents and kids would even want it.
Right.
And we found they did.
Yeah. And what makes Books unique?
Well, Books we spread the joy of reading. So Books definitely is unique because it's story time, but in a different way. It's a quality screen time that today's day and age, when you have cartoons that are really phonetic, or you have YouTube that's going all different ways. Books is special because it does bring that love of reading back to storybooks, especially when the kids are watching screens. We want to limit screen time, and encourage just about 20 minutes a day of reading, quality screen time, and I think that's really what makes us unique.
And what's your brand's mission?
Like you mentioned, spreading just the joy and the love of reading. We've had a lot of parents and teachers comment how kids have been so just bored by the routine of learning how to read that the joy of it is just gone. So the excitement of bringing the love back to what it is and the entertaining, side of stories and just almost like I like to say, when you're going onto our website, it's like you're walking to a library. Just that it's not noise, it's not clutter, it's simple, and it's just about exploring the imagination.
What would you say the biggest challenge was that you faced when you were starting Books, and how have those challenges kind of evolved and changed as your company is growing?
I would say, in the starting when we were looking for funding, and I think the due diligence process, it wasn't necessarily an obstacle for us, but it was amazing process, but it was intense. And I think that it made us deep dive even more into metrics and numbers that we never even really realized we would need. So, I mean, it's kind of across.
Yeah, and from my experience in the design agency realm, as well as working at Nike and different groups like that, I knew how to take big projects and digest them down into tangible, steps to action items.
Right.
And really, that's what we did with Vooks. So as we got our funding, we just said, okay, we need this much funding in order to accomplish our goals. And going through the due diligence just allowed us to get up to speed on the vernacular and all the vocabulary that's used in the startup world.
Right.
And that was really kind of our first foray into it, and it was fun.
Yeah, it really was. I know saying an obstacle doesn't quite fit because it was a fun challenge.
And you're going into your Series A round, correct?
Yeah.
What advice would you give entrepreneurs who are about to do the same?
Whew.
I would say know your
How
metrics.
much time do we have?
I would say you have to know your metrics. There's different metrics that matter for different products. But really, if you know it and you can estimate out or project at least 6 months out, if not a year out or further, it's kind of hard to project past a year. But if you have accurate projections or at least close to accurate, and you know your metrics and your traction, investors will listen. And that's the first thing you have to do, is get them to listen and show them that you have the expertise to accomplish it. And so far, we've been hitting all of our goals that we set up, and all of our metrics are lining up as we say they're going to line up. So that track record also really helps when you're going after Series A.
Amazing. And how are you growing a community within Vooks?
Well, something that was really important to us is customer service. It's making them feel valued and that they're listened to. I think a company could go under very fast if you don't create that relationship.
Right.
So we're very quick to respond to any type of issues or emails or concerns within hours. That was one of our top priorities because we are a trusted source for children's content, and we know that parents and teachers are the ones making the choices right now for the kids, and we want them to feel like we're a trusted, ally in this journey with them.
And just coming from branding expertise and marketing, you realize that brands that do a really good job focus on their brand stories and create consumers that really love the brand and really relate to the brand. And that's what we want to do with Vooks. We want to create something that was relatable to parents, and because really parents, for kids under 7 years old, they control the content.
Right.
They're telling the kids what they can't watch or what they can watch. When they start getting 6, 7, and older, like as my kids did, they start watching what they want to watch with limits. But and so you need to be a trusted brand, and we wanted to be seen as a trusted resource for children's books and children's content.
A lot of wantrepreneurs, people who want to start
I've never
grow.
heard that.
Start, grow, or fund a business,
Yeah.
have that intense fear of failure, and they often let that get in the way of following their passion and starting a business. What advice do you have for those wantrepreneurs?
Well, I always have courageous faith in action. That's my mantra. So throughout the 20 years of working in the design agency world and bringing all kinds of products to market, you can't have doubt get in your way or the fear of it. Because if you don't try to do it, you're going to have more regret not trying it than failing at something.
Absolutely.
And over the 20 years, I've had success as always completing the project on time, always under budget. So I knew going into Vooks that if we had a strong game plan, that we were going to hit all of our metrics. So I have a track record, but for those that don't have track record, it's worth trying something if you're passionate for it. And you're going to find out very quickly if you're going to fail, and just fail fast and move on and iterate and change it.
And it might refine you for the next step or journey. So take a chance. Life is definitely short.
Absolutely. And where can people learn more about you and your business?
Absolutely. You can go to Vooks.com, VOOKS.com, and you'll know everything there. We have social, we have Insta and Facebook and Twitter too.
Great. Well, Marshall and Shannon, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This is Business Rockstars. These were my amazing guests, Marshall and Shannon Bex, co-founders of Vooks.